I'm Jarrett Simpson.
And I'm Big Nick.
Welcome back to the Trade and Paint Podcast. Well, Nick, how'd you like Watkins, Glen?
I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was kind of boring there till the end.
Kind of like the Xfinity race. First lap, we did have that accident involving Kyle Busch. I can't remember the other one that got hit. I'm pretty sure it was Tyler Reddick, not sure. And then Ryan Blaney's steering problem. Other than that, it was kind of a typical road course race where you have the people up front, kind of getting spaced out, and then at the end of the stage, the split strategies, which I personally think kind of screwed some drivers in the end. We'll get to that. But like you said, it could have been better.
A little bit off topic. I know we're talking about race and all that, but like you said, Kyle Busch got in. He cannot catch a break, can he?
No, he cannot.
He cannot. If this man has came in, almost won 2 races. Was it back to back or what?
Back to back,
and came in second. He can't catch a break.
Nope.
He can't catch a break.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel bad for him just a little bit.
But let's jump right into it. Lap 1, I mentioned Ryan Blaney gets out, steering problem. Throughout the years, we have where vehicles get stuck on the racetrack. Let's say 4 tires are blown out, they can't move, you have to get pushed back to pit road. Anything can happen. NASCAR pushes them back to pit road. Well, Sunday we saw a situation where Ryan Blaney could not steer his car, which is technically should be a mechanical failure. When you go to the garage with a mechanical failure, usually you get to come back. But most importantly, NASCAR towed him back, and they expected him to go to the pit road. But NASCAR said since he could not drive the car back to his pit stall, they were done for the day. And I don't think that is right compared to what's happened in the past. Kind of iffy if you ask me.
I feel like, hate it or not, I feel like no matter what, there's always going to be favoritism in something. And
Yes.
do you think this could have been a thing where favoritism played a factor? Because like no matter what sport, like football fans, Kansas City Chiefs versus what's a crappy team? I'll say my own team, the Dallas Cowboys. The refs, not gonna say that they do, but if the refs is gonna pick a side, which one do you think they're gonna pick? The one that makes them more money.
That's one of those situations where you either have the Cinderella story or the favorite, so I'm not going to step into that.
Fair point.
But I just thought it was really fishy, and we even said on the pre-show, if Ryan Blaney had something happen early, because we noticed his qualifying laps wasn't good, he could be in a must-win depending on how the other drivers did. Well, somehow, even though he didn't really even complete a lap, he is still sitting at plus 29 on the cut line. Why, you ask? Honestly, Ryan Blaney's best friend Sunday, non-playoff drivers. We didn't have a single playoff driver finish in the top 5. And it was based on strategy and everything else, and that really saved Ryan Blaney.
I like how, going back to episode 1, what we talked about, a lot of the stuff that we said and predicted pretty much came true.
Denny Hamlin having problems. He's sitting at what? Let's look here. -6 on the cut line going into Bristol. He's really good at Bristol.
That dog.
But we also seen earlier this year in Bristol with the tires, it can go either way. So it went in Denny Hamlin's way at Bristol last time, but I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot tougher this time.
It very much could be tougher for him, but hate him or like him, you gotta admit he's had moments where he's a really solid driver, and him coming into it knowing that he's in a must-win situation.
Let's take it back. He's not in a must-win situation. He's only -6.
Technically not. That's my bad. But he would like the win. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, Denny Hamlin would love to win.
He would always love the win.
I think he's gonna get rid of that dang dog to win.
It must be. Maybe he's a cat person. He needs to adopt him a cat.
But
do you think? Okay, let's not say must win because he's not a must win. You're right. But say, does that put more pressure on him being -6.
Yes.
Also,
He's going to have a good qualifying lap to get him some points in stage 1 and stage 2 to kind of take that ease off. But I also got to look at it this way. Yes, it's more pressure going in under. But you got to look at who you're racing against. You got Chase Briscoe above him at +6 and 11th. Him and Ty Gibbs are tied in points. Chase Briscoe didn't do good at Atlanta, wrecked with Kyle Larson. He did okay at this road course. Like I said, it was a mixed bag. Chase Briscoe, like I said, no playoff, finished in the top 5. He was actually the highest finishing playoff driver in 6th. But that's road course racing. It's a flip-flop. I think when we go to Bristol, if it ain't for the tires being like they were last time, I think it's going to be more of a straightforward race, and I don't think Chase Briscoe is going to be too good. And I think Denny Hamlin and even Keselowski could pass him. Now, I also don't think Martin Truex Jr. is in a must-win at -14, and Brad Keselowski's not in a must-win at -12. They can get in on points. The one I'm looking at here is the 21 of Harrison Burton. He's at -20. Also not a big gap. Could be manageable. But we've seen this team struggle early in the races, and I don't think he's going to get stage points, which is going to put him in a must-win at the end of the day.
I think I touched about this on last episode. I feel like the only reason Harrison Burton got in is because
Daytona.
Yeah, he got him good, but because Kyle Busch had bad luck. I feel like if Kyle Busch had bad luck, he wouldn't be sitting there and Kyle Busch would. I have not seen or heard much of him except for that win. And Martin Truex, you see the cutoff is Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex, Harrison Burton. I was not expecting Martin Truex to be this low.
Me neither. But it goes back to Atlanta. It was a wild card race. He was minding his own business when Ryan Blaney got kind of spun on the backstretch in a way and clipped Martin's right front, and his car wasn't the same. He kept having to come down pit road and going laps down, so that really screwed him there. And Martin was having a pretty decent day, I believe, at Watkins Glen, and I can't remember exactly what happened. He ended up, where did he end up? He ended up in 20th, which, not bad considering that's around where a lot of playoff drivers finished. About 13th on down to 20th. They just spread out through the back 10, past 10. They've been just spread out. It wasn't a good day for playoff drivers. I think there was a little. I thought they was conservative on their strategy. They went after points rather than the win, and that's why they finished towards the back. But let's talk about that William Byron wreck. They went at Byron and Chase. I know them two were running like 10th and 11th on one of them cautions, and they came in for tires to try to make up spots, and they came out in like 20th and 21st. They were, for the first 2 corners, made up 6 spots. I know Chase was in 14th when the next caution came out, but Brad Keselowski and I think it was Logano got into it a little bit and squeezed Byron up into the fence, and his car came off the ground and almost went over the guardrail, and his tire was about that far away from Brad Keselowski's head, which was dangerous. But he is still at +25 even after that.
I think it comes down to how he did after and before. You know, because me personally, I don't think I could get into a wreck like that and like still want to drive. You know, any wreck, honestly, I don't think I would. I don't think I have the, me personally. But let's go to the standings. Who's sitting there? How do you feel about the standings?
Well, honestly, the big shocker here for me is still Joey Logano, because I did not expect him to go out and win a race, but he did. Christopher Bell's been pretty okay this season. I still don't count the Coca-Cola 600 win, even though he was doing pretty good. Rain-shortened event. NASCAR screwed us on that one. He's at +46 in second. Austin Cindric is surprising me here at third at +43.
what's really surprising to me, honestly, is out of all the Hendrick drivers, Alex Bowman is sitting at 4th over Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, William Byron.
I think that pretty much puts the rumors to bed. I think he'll be here next year.
Who do you think is leaving? Do you think they keep all these drivers and the other
They
ones?
have to. They have to.
Have to?
William Byron's a Daytona 500 champ.
I don't.
Chase and Kyle Larson.
I don't see them getting rid of Chase or Kyle Larson.
They're actual champions of the sport. Only one I can see them getting rid of is Alex Bowman, but I think he's proven himself right now that he is a good driver, and they should stick with him.
I feel like they've given him this season, and pretty much told him he has to prove himself this season, or he's out. And I think they told him that, and obviously it's working for him. I'm gonna go back down here to the cutoff. I do believe who I was gonna.
Something else that shocks me. Well, it don't really shock me, but Ty Gibbs at only +6 with the races we went to. He's okay at super speedway type racing, and that's kind of what Atlanta was supposed to be. But with the heat of the day, it came down to the grip, and they couldn't really get racy. So I can see why that was a struggle. But Ty Gibbs is really good at road courses, and seeing him at +6 right now, that's kind of shocking. But it also, like I said, isn't shocking because here lately he hasn't had good cars. He's been blowing motors. I mean, he's been all around the board. But with it being a road course, I expected him to be even more up. And he finished 22nd. So,
Circling back to Martin Truex Jr. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is his last.
yes, this is his last
Do
season.
you think he's gonna try to go extra hard because it's his last year and he wants to be?
I think Junior said it best. I think he's already in vacation mode. I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're in a car, you want to win. But I think somewhere in Martin's mind, he's like.
He's happy with his career.
Yeah.
He's
a
at
champion.
peace with it.
He's a champion. Everybody wants to win that one more race, but I don't think there's as much stress on him as the other drivers. I feel like he's done proved himself in this sport, and he's going to retire champion.
Happy that he made it in his playoffs last year.
He's a Hall of
Think
Famer.
so? Okay, now, Bristol, pretty much any racetrack, they always advertise it as, you never know what's going to happen.
But this is the last great Coliseum. It's
Do you think it is very possible for that man sitting at number 16th, Harrison Burton, to win
No.
another? You don't think it is at all?
no.
You don't think it is at all? I mean, it's always possible.
There's only one possible answer for this if he does win. The other 37 or 38 cars have to blow up or wreck, and that's it. I mean, I don't see the 21 going to victory lane at Bristol.
I doubt it, but like I said, there's always that slight chance. Another driver that I didn't think would be up as high as he is, and it's not because I just haven't seen a lot from me personally. Maybe I'm just not watching. But I would not expect Daniel Suarez to be up at 5 above Tyler Reddick. He was the
Yes.
regular season.
Yes.
I would not expect that. I would expect Tyler Reddick to be higher.
It all comes down to Atlanta. Atlanta, he stayed up front, got them stage points, and he finished up there. I'm pretty sure it was second or third. I can't remember where they were when the caution came out. But he had a really good day in Atlanta. And he was actually the 4th driver to finish as a playoff driver this week. He finished 13th. So he did pretty good points day Sunday. So he's having a really good playoffs. He has stepped it up a little bit, and he might be a challenger at Bristol.
I think for playoffs so far, I think we've covered.
Yeah, I think we should
Almost.
talk about the race itself. Because we've kind of bounced on it, but I feel like we can shut this.
Boom.
But speaking of the race, like you said, very boring. Well, the first lap, they had that wreck. It was kind of, and after that, like I said, they got spaced out. It started turning into a fuel mileage race where Ross Chastain and Shane Van Gisbergen kind of tried to hold their gas and then pit later. and it worked for him. It really worked for him. But that last caution, or not last. Let me get that right. It was not the last caution. That one caution came out. I can't remember. Oh, Harrison Burton's tire. Speaking of the 21, unraveled and left debris on the track, and it caused caution and it bunched them all back up. Like I said, Chase was in 10th, or Byron was in 10th, Chase was 11th. That's when they pitted. After that, it was wreck after wreck after wreck on these restarts, and everybody kept getting jumbled up. And let's talk about that last lap. I thought, coming to the white flag, Shane Van Gisbergen in the lead, nobody's going to touch him. He is smooth as silk. He was not going to be beaten. And he made a mistake in the bus stop, and here come Chris Buescher right to his inside and moved him out the way to win the race. And I think that had to be amazing.
I agree.
That made the whole race for me. That little race for the win, it was pretty cool.
I was hoping, early caution. That gave me high hopes. I was like, it's going to be an action-packed race. It's going to be fantastic. And then it really wasn't until right there at the end. That's a little disappointing, but I will never be mad at watching a race.
Me neither. No. Perfect way to spend your Sundays.
Now, going into Bristol, we will be at Bristol.
We will be at Bristol, and we're going to, since you done brought it up, I have to say it. We go down Thursday. We're going to try to film Thursday and post it Friday, our pre-show. And then we're going to stay after the race Sunday and give you our thoughts about the race.
We are still kind of new to this, but I figure what the plan is make one before the race and then predict and then make another one after the race and give what we thought about it, if our predictions came true, stuff like that. It's simple. But we will try. We cannot make promises. I have a feeling you know where we're going with this.
Well, I know where we're going with this.
We're going to try to get a couple of drivers to maybe say a couple things. I know we're meeting Blaney. Well, it's not.
It's not guaranteed, but let me tell you, I'm going to be there early.
We're going to be there early
to meet this man.
So it's almost positive. We're going to try to meet him, get some stuff signed, maybe get some pictures, post them to our Instagram, maybe get a couple videos, maybe make a couple TikToks.
Yeah. What's the TikTok handle?
TikTok is at Trading Paint 988, and if it's not 988, it's 889. It's one of those two. I know we have. It's not really a video; it's just a picture that says "Come check out the podcast." But we have linked our YouTube it's in our TikTok bio. If people coming from TikTok, welcome. We do have an Instagram. I do not believe we've posted anything on there yet, but we will be posting photos from Bristol, and I do believe we go every year. We're probably gonna go to Talladega. We're probably gonna have stuff there too.
It's gonna be fun times.
It's always a fun time when you're going to a race. There's watching it at your own house, in your own home, sitting on your couch. It's fun. Great. It's amazing, but there's nothing like the experience of not only the cars going around and you hear the and the smell, everything. It's what honestly made it for me. My first time I went was the fans. No matter what driver. Like other sports, like NFL, fans will fight each other. NASCAR, no matter what driver you're for, you get a woo! It's amazing. It's electric, and it's a whole experience. You have to
experience it, man.
It's got to be there.
But
I think everybody should at least go to one race in their lifetime just to experience it.
So let's go back to Watkins Glen for just a split second. 1 out of 10, how do you think the race was?
Early caution gave us some excitement, but it kind of let us down. But it wrapped up at the end. I'm leaning between a 7.5 and an 8.
I'm gonna go with a 6.
I was gonna say 6, but I felt that was too harsh. I'll go with a 7.
I'm gonna go with a 6, just because it's just a typical road course race. You didn't have much action until the end. But that's pretty much it. We ain't got much to talk about until we get to Bristol. Which, like I said, we'll get there Thursday. Hopefully, get the video up Friday morning. We're gonna try to make some TikTok videos by going to practice and all that, and meeting people there.
We may remake our shake and bake TikTok that we did a couple years ago at Talladega. Trying to think of anything else that we could possibly talk about anything.
Oh, I got one. Truex took a shot at Kyle Larson after the race.
He did. I'm glad you brought that up. I completely forgot
about
that.
And I completely agree with him. We heard Kyle Larson kind of say he was the best driver in the world, and said that he could race Max Verstappen in his own in Kyle's stuff and beat him. And then it's kind of weird. Ever since then, Kyle Larson has not done good. And like we said, one of the late race cautions, Chase got squeezed by somebody and it caused a chain reaction. And Truex tried checking up and missing the wreck, and Larson right in the back of him. And Truex got out the car and said, "How are you going to call yourself the best driver in the world when you can't even keep from running into someone in front of you?"
He hit him. You can almost say they were trading paint.
Trading paint, baby.
But he did. And what did he say exactly? He went on there and said, he said, "Can't call yourself the best in the world if..." What exactly?
He said you can't call yourself the best in the world if you can't check up and not hit somebody. Something like that.
I'd say that's pretty fair.
I mean,
a fair point. Do you think it could have been avoided?
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, I think that whole wreck could have been avoided. I know Chase was being aggressive with them new tires. He was going low to try to pass some cars. But he got squeezed by another car, and I can't remember exactly who it was. But I know it was one of the drivers that are usually in the back. And it is up there. But
let's talk about the Xfinity race at Bristol. Dale Jr.
Dale Jr., baby.
I have only seen Dale Jr. race one time in my life.
Well, making it two.
Making it two now, and this was back when I was young. This before I was at least 7. So it's been a minute. Hoping he comes to victory lane, of course.
I hope.
Driving
88 car
helmets 88. How do you think that he's gonna do you think he's gonna be aggressive, or do you think he's gonna treat it like a...
I'm gonna tell you like I told my granddad, because we was talking about it earlier today. Junior comes into these races, and he runs around the top 5, but he kind of respects the Xfinity Series regulars. But we have heard Junior say that this is probably going to be his last Xfinity start, which probably means it's going to be his last NASCAR sanctioned event start. Which I think that means he's going to ramp it up and try to win this race with it being his last start. I don't think he's going to wreck anybody to win, but if he has a fast enough car, I bet you he goes all out.
You think we're going to see some Dale Sr. in him?
I hope so, man. I hope we see him rattle somebody's cage at the end of the night. But like I said, I don't think he'll do that. He's too nice of a guy.
I think we may try to go see the truck race. I don't keep up with the truck races, me personally. I watch highlights here and there, but I don't really keep up with it. But we may try to watch some of that. Maybe get some videos on that. If you want to see that, just let us know. I think. Got anything else you can think about?
All I got to say is, we'll be at Bristol like we've been talking about. We're going to make it, like I said, a pre-show. So, please join us.
A bunch. We're probably going to make, honestly, we're probably going to make a lot of videos and post them either to the YouTube channel or the TikTok. There's probably going to be a bunch of TikToks made, because once we get in a TikTok making mood, we make a bunch of TikToks. But if that's it, I just want to thank everybody for listening to the Trade and Paint podcast.
Hope you come back and see us again, and hope you have a good one. See you in Bristol.
See you in Bristol.